I'm feeling. Someone stepping towards you, can't describe just what I'm feeling. For you, I go. Step to a dude much bigger than me. For you, I know I would get messed up with 153. For you, I would get beat to smithereens.
Hey guys, welcome back to Aaron Does Everything. Since this week is Suicide Awareness Week, and today that I'm filming is actually like the official day of the suicide awareness, I wanted to make a video about how 21 Pilots saved my life on numerous occasions, and just how they've influenced me with my music, with my art, everything. And that's what their whole message is about. You're not alone. You're not the only one going through whatever struggles you're going through, and it's true, you're not. And that's another reason I wanted to start this channel, so I could reach out to others and help them understand that you're also not alone. Because I used to struggle with depression, anxiety, all that a lot. I still do. But they understand and they get it, and they're very, very good, pure people. And I want to share how they've influenced me and hopefully influence others to understand that you got this. Life sucks sometimes, but most of the time it's not bad. You just gotta find the little things. Express gratitude, because if you're not grateful for anything, you're never gonna be happy, you know? So excuse us while we sing to the sky. So, to begin my story, I found 21 Pilots through my ex at the time, and when I was about 9th grade. I immediately fell in love with them. They're just so real. You could see that they really meant what they were putting out, and it was nice to hear like genuine lyrics, you know, because you don't get that a lot anymore. You just hear, you know, sex, money, drugs, power, all that kind of stuff. That's all everyone talks about in the mainstream, and it was just nice to get a break from that. And it's led me to so many different artists. I've met so many great people through this band, and they've just influenced me an incredible amount. So as soon as I started listening to them, got a ukulele. And one of my favorite things that they say is that you have to find your own purpose. So you create and find your own purpose. We really are here to create new things, to explore new things. Because if we're just staring at a screen, if we're just doing day-to-day, every day for our entire lives, how is that going to be fulfilling? You know, and they've kind of gotten me into that thought process. From his old music, you can really tell that, especially the singer, had some real bad struggles with anxiety and depression, and it just spoke to me because I have too. Ever since probably the beginning of high school, it's been almost crippling at times. And from his lyrics, you can hear that from him as well. Like, one of the biggest messages, especially more recently, that they've been spreading is that you're not alone, and you're not. Because everyone has their own anxieties, everyone has their own troubles, but we're not alone in it. We know that there's others out there that care about us. There's others out there, even if you don't talk to a certain person a lot, they're still there for you. There's people out there that are like that know how bad the struggles can be, and just want you to make sure that you know you're not alone, and you're not. So they essentially inspired me to start creating myself. I started out with music and art. Well, music and art are my main alleyways through creativity. I never took any art classes or anything like that, but I just for some reason had a knack for it, you know, ever since, again, probably since I started listening to them. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to draw, and since then it's just absolutely, my talent is absolutely expanded, and I'm really proud of how much I've grown. And it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have some sort of sense of purpose, and that's what they're all about, finding your own sense of purpose. I also started kind of early with music as well. I did chorus in middle school. It wasn't anything too serious. But then once I got to high school, I started teaching myself different instruments. I started playing ukulele. I can play the bass. Drums is probably my top instrument. I'm really good with rhythm and patterns and things like that. I'm also working on learning guitar. That's a long process. It hurts my hands, you know, the chords and everything. Ukulele's better for me. And since I've gotten a wider range of musical instruments, I've been able to essentially start writing my own music, which I have several songs that I have written out with different instruments going along, but I don't have the funds right now for recording equipment. So as soon as I do, once I get some more money from this job, I'm going to start recording music, and hopefully I'll be able to share it more with y'all rather than just simple little covers with like one instrument and things like that. I've seen them twice in concert, and when I tell you, their concerts are like unlike anything you've ever seen. I've been to so many festivals, so many concerts, and they're the only ones that I've genuinely like bawled my eyes out with the amount of emotion and feeling that I feel whenever I'm there. Because they're very interactive in their shows. They interact with the entire crowd, whether you're up in the nosebleeds, whether you're out in the back of the pit, anywhere. They interact with almost every part of the audience. And every tour, they change something. They get something new that you wouldn't think about, that you normally wouldn't normally see in a show. First experience was down in Orange Beach, Alabama, and I had pit floor seats, so you just show up. But the night before, we got an email saying that we can show up at so-and-so time and get a wristband with a number, and that's the number we'll be let into the show. So me and my friend got there about 5 in the morning, waited in line for like 2 or 3 hours. I met some cool people that I had met online through the community, and it was great. I actually met even more people that had a weird connection to my family and my church at the time. And it was really interesting. It just brings people together, and it's beautiful. So yeah, we got in line, got the wristband after a couple hours, and then we were able to leave and come back that night at like 4 or 5 that afternoon. And it was beautiful. They had to cut a couple songs because there was a storm on the way, but it was just, it was incredible. They were awesome. My second show was not this year, but a year ago in the summer. I saw them in New Orleans, and they didn't have the nice little wristband option. I also had pit seats because I can't not do pit for 21 Pilots. It's an experience. The doors opened at like 5 that afternoon, right? So me and my buddy got there at about 7:30 in the morning to line up. And we were the top 200 people. That's how dedicated their fans are, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I was actually in line with people from Mobile that like I don't hang out with, but we just knew who each other were. I met this great couple down there, and they were just so sweet. The girl actually might be going to school with me next year. They were just so sweet and genuine, and I could tell that 21 Pilots really had shaped them too, like they had with me. That show it was even better than the first one, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. The energy was incredible in the room. Every single song that they sang took on an absolutely new meaning, new feeling for me, and it was an experience. And you can just tell that this band cares so much about their fans. Know that your struggles are not just yours. There's other people going through it. And that's so important to remember. And it's hard to remember sometimes because life gets hard. Life gets really hard. You can get very overwhelmed by your emotions and just want to curl up into the fetal position and not do anything about it. They've kind of helped me realize that that's not the way to do things. Reaching out to others, maybe not like absolutely overwhelming them with your problems, but just knowing that there is people out there that want the best for you. They want you to succeed in life, whatever you want and whatever you're passionate about. And that's what life's all about. It's all about love, loving what you do, loving your friends, loving the people around you. Because if you don't love others, that's just going to reflect back onto yourself. If you're hateful or if you're ungrateful or anything like that, you're just going to resonate with those more than the good. And it's going to drag you down. I'm speaking from experience. It really, really does drag you down. They also have kind of been a nice stronghold with me for Christianity. So I am recently back into the faith, but for several years I wasn't. When I first started listening to them, I wasn't, and very recently I actually came back into the faith. but you know, they're not a Christian band, but if you listen to the lyrics, they are, especially his older songs. And it's just, it gives it a whole new meaning whenever you really are looking for that and listening for that reassurance, because it's beautiful. Their most recent album is just beautiful. It's all about the fact that you're not alone, that you have people looking out for you. One of my favorite songs, Cut My Lip, the lyric that absolutely resonates with me and is kind of the inspiration for this tattoo was Lean on My Pride, I'm a Lion. That could be talking about the 21 Pilots community, that could be talking about God, because so many different people can find so many different meanings. And it's just, they've had such an impact on my life that I just felt like I needed to make a video about it and just express how grateful I am that I'm alive while they're here, while they're making this music, because there's such a stark difference from their music in the mainstream, and it's needed in this world, and that's what I'm hoping to do with my music eventually as well. The mainstream is not good for the soul. It's not. All this idolizing of celebrities, thinking sex, money, drugs, all these things are the key to happiness. And from experience, they are for a little bit, but it gets old. It really does. It doesn't have your soul satisfied. It keeps your body, your ego satisfied. And not for very long, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. It always ends up coming back around in a negative way. But I don't know. Me and my mom, we have very differing music tastes. She even enjoys them. Whenever their newest album came out, the first song that was released, she was the one that told me about it, and she wanted to see the video. She loves interpreting things and trying to figure out the meaning behind some of the stuff that they post. And I do the same thing. They're wonderful. They're just wonderful human beings, and I love it, and I love them, and I'm just so grateful that I found them. Because without them, I honestly don't know where I'd be right now.
Panic on the brain, world is gone insane. Things are starting to get heavy.
Living free, I don't wanna be the one, but I put a glad in my hands out to the moon. I see a harpoon. Cause the dark's not taking prisoners tonight.
I'm just lost in this moment. I've been zoning.